Jai Hind, my dear students, a very good morning to all. You are preparing very well for the board exam in the subject business studies. I wish you all the very best for getting the maximum score. Kindly watch this video. It will help you to revise the all topic and chapters in the subject business studies. So welcome, my dear students and friends. The first chapter you have to give preference staffing, and look at that. Meaning of staffing is very important, and we have the ability to write the explanation in your own words. You can write it very clearly. And the staffing process, it includes estimating manpower requirements, recruitment, selection, placement and orientation, training and development, performance appraisal, promotion and career planning, compensation. All these things are very important topics in this chapter, staffing. And the recruitment, you have to remember every time the internal and external sources of recruitment. Also you have to remember steps in sources of recruitment. Also you have to remember internal include transfer, promotion, and external include direct recruitment, advertisement, employment exchange, labor contractors, web publishing, casual callers, recommendation of present employees, placement agencies and management consultants, and also campus recruitment, then advertising and advertising through online medias and television. Selection is important process that as a part of the staffing, and you have to remember the steps. Scrutiny of application, selection or employment test, then employment interview, reference and background checks, selection decision, medical or physical test, then job offer, contract of employment signing. And the training and development is another important area in this chapter, where you know very well training, it is very important for developing the skill of employees. Two types of training are there: on the job and off the job. On the job include apprenticeship training, coaching, internship training, job rotation, etc. And in the off the job training includes classroom lectures, films, case studies, computer modeling, vestibular training and programmed instruction. You know, on the job while doing the job, off the job in a separate area along with the some experts. They will take the classes and all that things. Another chapter, directing, you know very well, it includes instructions to be given to the workers for getting the better performance. And the importance of directing, you please remember, helps in achieving the organizational goals, integrate the efforts of employees, improves the efficiency of the employees, facilitate change in organization, it provides stability to the organization. And the elements of directing includes supervision, motivation, communication and leadership. Motivation, that includes all the elements which inspires the employees to bring the best positive outcome. And you have to think very critically and learn, make more examples related to the famous theory of Maslow's need hierarchy theory. There 5 needs are there: physiological needs, safety needs, belongingness and love needs, esteem needs, and the highest one, self-actualization need. Regarding the different forms of incentives to motivate the employee, first one, it is financial incentive, which includes pay and allowance, bonus, profit sharing, co-partnership, productivity linked wage incentives, retirement benefits and perquisites. And in non-formal incentives include status, or then job enrichment, job security, then employee participation, organizational climate, career advancement opportunities, employee recognition programs, employee empowerment programs. And leadership, it is one of the important concepts where one leader inspires the followers through the behavior and attitudes. And the major thing you have to remember, the features: ability of an individual to influence the people, it tries to bring change in the behavior of people, it is exercised to achieve the common goals of the organization, it is a continuous process. And the 3 leadership styles are autocratic, democratic and laissez-faire. Some more are there, but in our syllabus, autocratic, democratic and laissez-faire you have to remember. And communication is another element in the process of direction. Remember, exchanging of ideas, information from one person to another, it is very relevant in the area of our business also. This is the chart diagram showing the flow of communication from the sender to the receiver. Kindly remember the diagram and the different types of communication that you have to remember: formal and informal communication. And the third chapter, the controlling, and you have to remember the allowed function. It is one of the last function in management which helps to bring the best outcomes through the employees and based on the standard set. And the importance of controlling helps to accomplish the organizational goals, judging the accuracy of standards in the light of such changes, making efficient use of the resources, material, human, and financial, improving the employee motivation, ensures order and discipline in the organization, facilitates coordination in action, and the process of controlling includes setting performance standards, measurement of actual performances, comparing actual performance with the standards, analyzing the deviations, taking corrective action. Very important. And fourth chapter, it is financial management. It is concerned with the optimal procurement of financial resources and its efficient utilization. And the three important decisions included in financial management: investment decision, financing decision, and dividend decision. Very, very important area. And investment decision, there we are carefully selecting the assets where we have to invest, especially fixed asset. And the factors while we are considering while selecting the capital budgeting decision or the investment decision: the cash flow position of the organization, the rate of return expected, and the investment criteria involved in the organization. Based upon that, we are selecting or preparing the capital budgeting decision. Second one, it is financial decision. We have to raise the funds from owners fund or then borrowed fund. We have to take the decision like that, which source of finance is better. And the factors to be considered while taking the financial decision: cost, risk, flotation cost, cash flow position of the organization, fixed operating cost, then control consideration, and also the state of capital market in the country. Third decision, it is dividend decision, where how much amount of the profit should be divided and shared to the shareholders as dividend. And the factors we have to think: amount of earnings of the organization, stability in the earnings, stability of dividend given to the employee to the shareholders, then growth opportunities of the organization, cash flow position of the organization, the shareholders' preferences, taxation policy, stock market reactions, access to capital market, legal constraints, contractual constraints. All these points are very, very important. And regarding the financial planning, you know very well, planning is the first and foremost process which is thinking in advance. Here also, we are thinking about the use and collection of funds or the finance. That is financial planning. And capital structure shows the structural arrangement of capital or the proportion of equity and debt in the organization. The factors to be considered while arranging the capital structure: please remember the points: cash flow position, interest coverage ratio, debt coverage ratio, return on investment, cost of debt, tax rate, cost of equity, flotation cost, risk consideration, then flexibility, control consideration, regulatory framework, stock market conditions. And also please remember regarding what is financial market, another chapter, the fifth chapter. Financial market is a market for collecting funds or investing funds through the financial asset. And the major functions are mobilization of savings and channelizing through the effective ventures, facilitating price discovery, providing liquidity to financial assets, reducing the cost of transaction. And the two part of financial market, that is money market and capital market. Money market, it is the place for short-term funds which is needed within 1 year and it will be repaid within 1 year. And it includes the issue of instruments or financial assets like treasury bills, commercial bills, call money, certificate of deposit, commercial bill. My dear students, please prepare all the explanation for these 5 points, because 2 mark questions definitely will be there, maybe commercial paper or treasury bill. And yet another area, primary market, the market for new issues where the financial assets are issued for the first time. And the methods are methods of flotation. A lot of times questions asked from this area: flotation of new issues in the primary market. So we can offer through the prospectus, offer for sale, then private placement through agents, then right issue, electronic initial public offer. That is also one of the important common method in the issue of shares or debentures or any financial asset through the primary market. And secondary market, once we issued the securities in the primary market, then that can be issued only through the secondary market. So that is, and it is commonly known as stock exchange. and which provides the possibility for buying and selling of existing securities. The important functions of stock exchanges are providing liquidity and marketability to existing securities, provides facility for fixing the price or pricing of security, safety of transaction, contribution to economic growth of the country, spreading equity cult, then provides scope for speculation and it limited. What is dematerialization? You know very well there is financial assets or securities which are converted into digital form with the support of demat account. That is dematerialization. Like we can expect 2 mark question from this area also, dematerialization of or demat. And what are the procedures involved in the trading procedures in the what stock market or stock exchange? We have to approach a broker. We have to open a demat account. We have to place an order. We have to find a deal, then execution of the order, issuing contract note, delivery shares by the investor, then settlement cycle, payment to the broker, and also delivery of shares by the broker. And Securities Exchange Board of India, it is one of the important organization which controls, which creates rules and regulations for the entire controlling of or administration of stock market in India. And it is established in the by the central government on 12th April 1988. And you know very well, the statutory rights they got only on 30th January 1992, but the important functions include they have to control regulatory function like that. The objective of this organization to regulate the stock exchanges, protect the rights of investors, then prevent the fraudulent activities, regulate that and develop a code of conduct in the organization. All that are objectives, and the common functions are regulatory functions, developmental function, then protective function. Regulatory function include to register the agents and brokers, to notify the rules and regulations for smooth functioning of the securities market, levying penalties and fees for contravening rules and orders, to regulate investment schemes, to prevent unfair trade practices. The development function include training intermediaries, promoting fair trade, conducting research, etc. Then protective functions include to prevent insider trading, to promote fair trade practices, to educate investors, to prevent unfair and fraudulent trade practices. And the last chapter is consumer protection. You know very well the importance of consumer protection. We have lots of rights, that rights and responsibility to be protected, and it is as per the latest Act of Consumer Protection Act 2019. Why it is important? Sometimes consumers are ignored, unorganized consumers are there, widespread exploitation of consumers are there. So in order to control all these activities, consumer protection is very much important. And in the point of view of businessmen, they want to protect the long-term interest of the business. Business uses society's resources. That is why they are giving more support to the consumer protection. They are part of social responsibility, then moral justification for the effort or activities done by them. Then government intervention will be there in order to control all that also. Business people are supporting consumer protection. And Consumer Protection Act 2019, and it seeks to protect and promote the consumer's interest through speedy and inexpensive redressal agencies. Lots of redressal agencies are there which supports the running of these organizations. It's the right of the consumers. Then the important right to be familiar with the consumer, 6 rights are there: right to safety, right to inform, right to choose, a right to hear, and right to consumer education, and right to seek a redressal. Lots of questions asked from this area regarding rights of consumers. And the major reliefs available, an application level question you can expect from this area. What are the major reliefs available for the consumers? And a lot of organizations are providing at the national, district, and state level, providing that solution for the problems faced by the consumers. And the major reliefs available are to remove the defect in goods or deficiency in services, to replace the defective product with a new one, and to refund the price, to pay punitive damages, and to discontinue the unfair trade practices, not to offer hazardous goods for the sale, and to withdraw the hazardous goods from the market, to pay adequate cost to the appropriate party. So these are all the things, my dear students, you have to consider. A lot of unnecessary points are there, but you please go through this video and kindly remember all these points. Definitely you can score 40 out of 40. So all the very best for your business studies exam. Hope you will get 40 out of 40, and try to prepare maximum by reading the textbook and through the other sources. And lot of videos available regarding all these topics in my channel. Kindly subscribe it and share to your friends. Thank you. Have a nice day.